watching this recorded, so I don't know what time it is. Don't know where you are. Hope you're having a good time and glad you're watching. Linda Orban, normally with Southern Fried Paranormal. Sunday morning. But who cares? I thought I had a good internet connection tonight, and I did. Boy, I should have done the show at 7 o'clock. There we go again, blacking out. Anyway, uh, midnight special. This is not the midnight special show that's on YouTube. That is a music channel broadcasting, rebroadcasting on YouTube. Some very great music from the late 70s, very early 80s. So around about 18 years. Music live in front of an audience. I used to go home early, of course, on Eastern time. Back then it was. Uh, anyway, I knew we flipped again. Anyway, this is not associated with them. I just use my midnight special because I crank it up on midnight Saturday night, and I do not play music. If you want to hear some really good late 70s, early 80s music, look up the Midnight Special. It was hosted by Wolfman Jack. Now, I don't know if they bought the rights from the show Midnight Wolfman Jack or not. I have not watched their show, the recorded shows. I watched them all live. They are 53 minutes long, I think. So maybe Wolfman Jack's on there. Maybe I'll have to watch one day and see if the Wolfman. Yeah, carry on. It's a midnight special. If the light shine down on you, yeah. Okay, whatever. That's my best Wolfman impression. Hey, I'm not paid. I'm not a comedian. I'm not an impressionist. Arthur Wood's investigation videos. I started them a couple weeks ago. Last week I did the ghost box session. Next week I might do a ghost box session. Who knows? But I'm going to start that right now. And then I've also got a couple other videos of other things that I will be showing. So we're going to show 5 videos. Here we go. now I've got faster internet, but in kicking me off the internet, all of the videos I loaded up were gone. So they load up. What can I say? Back in a minute. that maybe I got them back loaded now, and we'll continue with our second video. I'm assuming the first one went out and you've watched it already. So enough of the music, enough for the nice little banner with the gifts on it that I made. Let's go straight to video.
As I explained the music earlier. He's looking for the light. That strip of somebody in the cemetery. Just see what was it. Yeah, that's in front of the stereo. Lady crying could very easily be virgin frost. It's a very wet area. You can see a lot of it's low. These trips to the mine here forever. It's quite creepy, yeah, as sunrise approaches. There's some serious frogs around here. So far, one flashlight drained. Sorry if I'm walking in your grave. I mean no disrespect. My name's Lynn. I'm willing to talk. If you are. I have a camera in my hand and a light in the other. If you want to speak, this we can pick up your voice. That's about all we can do in the cemetery tonight. I looked around. Just the one guy cranked up his stereo and drove away. Trees were between me and him. No way he picked up a light from a 0-inch camera. Come back. These get bad. Here we go. It's not. Now, stay and what you appears when you leave. And now leaving. Stay and what I talk. More than when you listen. Now, somebody should wait about 5 minutes. Okay, now it's recording. Go ahead. I'm out of here. So it's not. Members Ardent is up. There's the lights.
Wow.
You see how bright it is.
Oh my
But
god.
back up a little bit and so you look further away. That's the wall. Get that kind of spotlight on the wall from 3 red LEDs.
Oh my god.
Now, watch this. Now, we'll cut off. The camera light is off.
Oh my god.
Look at the scene. Now, there you are.
Hey, test video.
Your shirt is incredibly lit up. So, but you can see how bright those are.
Yeah, oh my god.
Go ahead and turn back on the light. We'll just walk out here with it.
This was a test video where I was testing
That's incredible.
IR lighting.
We're out.
That's a cut video.
Camera.
Okay. What we're going to do is go through the full testing video. You heard the birds chirping in the darker woods.
We must have taken about 3-4 dozen pictures here, but until they filled up the camera.
Okay, wait, this is not a test video.
All the pictures we took at the shared kitchen. Most of those are up on the
This is a daytime video, obviously.
It's gonna take this so high.
This is taken with a full spectrum camera.
Oh no, we
And
finally see it
first,
go. I think his name's Frank.
He is awfully white.
Yeah. What was that?
That's a really cool summer.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, believe it or not, if my neck gets in the mood, it sounds like that when it pops.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, go slow by this tune.
Yeah, we checked it out, took some pictures. I ran my hand all the way around it. I felt nothing. So maybe it's not active or anything.
This is what Archer
well,
Woods
Edward,
it's like
psychic
in the daytime.
He's riding through during the day. We are.
This is the only tomb in Archer Woods.
Right now,
It's actually empty.
we did take some pictures.
Once again,
And we were rolling EVP. Yeah, it's like.
you got to be lucky.
Yeah.
You can be good like Edward and Ursula.
But you still got to be there at the right time.
You got to be lucky.
That's what's kind of discouraging sometimes.
Now his psychic, and I felt the same thing. I didn't read this till after I was out here. But right here, that doorway to the old.
Oh, this is where Edward had the real bad feeling about those vaults back there.
He had the bad feeling about the vaults, and his psychic said it's real negative energy coming from the old headquarters here.
Those look like they may have. They're supposed to look clean, but
They've been sitting there for years.
Have they?
The reason they're clean is they get washed off by the rain.
This was where it used to be when this was an independent cemetery. The office now run out of another office at another cemetery, a little vault by that other cemetery.
Now, if you look at both sides here, you can scramble through that fence over there, a couple missing things. And if you look right there, I got a picture of the big hole down there. And this right here is where it leans out. You can easily. Even us, as big as we are, can slip through that hole.
Gear hanging off.
Here you go. Still have those cameras, right? Just shooting HD. We're ahead of time. At the time. But now they're kind of passe. There's better cameras out there. These are now about 10 years old. And they still work. They still record in HD. They're just not as nice as others. And the microphone on newer cameras are much better. There was a drawback there. These microphones of these tiny cameras were not that great. They would not, even when I stepped away a few feet, you could not understand anything I said. So these are some very early videos that were done when I was still with the Midnight Paranormal Society, the Chicago version of that, the first version. I don't think anybody else had the name before, but the first incarnation of Midnight Paranormal Society. Due to drama, we completely pulled the not-for-profit corporation status away from it. So anybody says they're the Midnight Paranormal Society, it is based out of Texas now. That is the second incarnation. And from some former members, it was a little bit of drama. Maybe, they shouldn't have done that or whatever. They have my permission. I don't care. I resigned from that group. And, we have, without the corporate interest around it and without using the name as even a group, who cares? The other people, I believe they've incorporated as a not-for-profit paranormal group, have it officially registered in Texas, and they now officially use the name. This is the old Midnight Paranormal, the original Midnight Paranormal Society, based out of Chicago. And at this time, we were under corporate name. but that corporation got yanked from the state and discontinued, and Texas picked it up. All right. You saw a little bit right there at the end, the daytime, Archerwood Cemetery, and you saw a little bit at night. Yes, I was. No, there's some choppy video. I did not have extremely bright lights at the time. I was only using the camera lights, which is, you could light up a circle, but that's about it. They had 3 LEDs, low powered, that are built into the camera. That's all I was using at that time. Now, you heard the birds chirping at the end. It was getting to be sunrise. I thought I videoed to the absolute sunrise and a little bit afterward, but I don't know where that video is, or maybe it didn't come out. But that cemetery, Archwood Cemetery, is known for having a crying woman inside. I think of that is there's a little creek back there that a lot of people that go in that cemetery don't know about. It's back on the back side. It's dividing the cemetery away from houses, back property of some houses there. And there are some headstones that have been thrown down there. I'm imagining it's headstones where the body's been exhumed and moved, or vandalism. I'm not sure what. There's no real caretaker. They caretake it. They have burials there, but there's nobody there. They don't like. They were redoing the fence. There's a lot of holes in the fence, and they don't even try to lock the gates. Last time I was there, of course, that was about 8 years ago. So if anybody goes to Archer Woods, let me know. Stop by my Facebook profile sometime and let me know how Archer Woods is going, or go out there and investigate it yourself. Now, also known out there at Archer Woods, it had a horse-drawn hearse. Of course, they're black and drawn by white horses. So it's been seen going through there and going in and out the gate. I never saw that myself. A second investigation I had, one of these days I'll find the video from that, investigation with someone. The first time I was by myself. And yes, I stayed in the cemetery all night by myself till sunrise. I talked to somebody else in it doing it. We were there from about 2 o'clock in the morning till sunrise. And there's a stables across the street, and a white horse escaped and ran through the cemetery to the backside. I guess found the fence and then walked back to the stables. But at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're in a cemetery that's dark. You don't even have moonlight out there. You're just looking in your camera, viewfinder, to see where you're going. When a white horse very noisily comes running through the cemetery, and you can see the white and what little bit of reflection you get from street lights and some of the house lights around there. You saw how dark it was, where my light wasn't hitting. That was the most scared I've been in a cemetery, and it was just a horse. Of course, he was nowhere near. I'd be scared if he'd been running at me, but he ran in and then trotted out. And a white horse in a cemetery will scare the fool out of you. But that was not paranormal. It was a real horse. I checked it out, went to the stables, interviewed the stable keeper, and he said, yeah, when he got to work, the fence was not latched. So it was obvious. If I say a horse, I saw a horse loose in the middle of the night, a horse was loose. He said he came back in. It's there. He latched the gate when he got there right at sunrise. Anyway, the Archer Woods Cemetery, I debunked some of because most people, if you look at the cemetery, you've got to walk through the trees to go see the creek. And so most people don't know that creek is there. So when they start hearing a few frogs coming up, it sounds like a woman. And if you don't see a creek, you don't think there's frogs there. So that I believe that's where that came from. People not knowing there was a creek and quite a few frogs in the creek. Now the hearse, I've never seen before. I've never talked to anyone that has seen the hearse, horse-drawn hearse, going in and out. I don't know where that came from. Don't know who started that, or who saw it decades ago and wrote it down as a paranormal thing that somebody said. but I've never talked to anybody who said that. Now, only one tomb that's there that I said there's nobody there. I got pushed away from that tomb on a daytime video. And when do you notice I did not go to the main former office, not just a storage area, because I've had psychics before, so that's a very negative area, and I just don't feel like walking up toward it. It's kind of a creepy feeling, which so I agree with the psychics that talk to me that is a negative area for whatever reason in what used to be an office there. They probably may have had. I'm sure graveside services were held at graveside unless it was pouring down rain or something. I doubt seriously they had services in there. Maybe they did. Maybe they, if it was older people, they may have had a place in there to sit down real quick and did a quick ceremony. But I don't think so. I don't know what would be causing a negative feeling there. But I have the negative feeling myself, and I've talked to other people who also have the negative feeling at that location. Like I said, Archerwood Cemetery, it's kind of complicated to get there. It's not far from Archer Woods. It's not far from Chet's Melody Lounge, just a couple of miles. And the big cemetery there where a certain lady has been known to hitchhike. Archwood is a very haunted cemetery. There have been tours out there. Richard Crow, my old buddy. My buddy Richard Crow. The late Richard Crow. He did a lot of investigating and put tours out there at various locations on Archer Woods. Like I said, it's one of the most haunted locations. You got a church several miles further down that's haunted in the cemetery. You can't get in there a lot. Sometimes some people have lucky and timed it where the gate was open and have gone in there and gotten videos. Some people have been lucky enough to talk people into letting them investigate at night there, but that's few and far between. They had Richard Crow and I believe Ursula Belsky both down there for a tour. I believe Ursula Belsky's bus broke down right outside the gates, and she was not allowed in there, but Richard Crow's group was. I don't know the exact details of that, but it was interesting, and they had to have a record come get Ursula's bus. Anyway, that was a decades ago. But Richard's been dead 10 years now. Boy, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe I've lived in Arkansas for 7 years, over 7.5 years now. We came down here 7 years ago, this past December 1st. So we've been 7 years and 7 months. Lucky sevens. Maybe I should play the lottery on the 7th of July. But anyway, that's going to be it for tonight. I didn't load up any other videos. We've been on for almost an hour. I like to try to take the show up to about an hour. There was some interesting stuff there. I was on a show this past Thursday night, and we talked a little bit about Bachelor's Grove Cemetery and some of the other haunts I've done. This is several years ago. This was just almost a decade ago. In fact, it's a pretty solid decade ago. This was before Richard Crow's last John Dillinger event here where he died. And he died right about where those pipes are going down into the ground, power cables and sewer pipes. going down. He fell dead right about there. Uh, that alley now has a big mural on that brick uh, with John Dillinger. I would love to go back and investigate him, but I'm a long ways from Chicago. In fact, I'm about a 13-hour drive nonstop from Chicago. So that's leave that to somebody else to investigate that alley with that mural. I could not get Don Dillinger's attention here, and I thought maybe it's a residual that's run out of power, and he just doesn't appear there anymore. But with the mural there, might create some energy. So I think it'd do well for somebody else to investigate that. Of course, the late great Richard Crowe, you don't have his event anymore. Later that night, we had an event there where we marched from the theater down to the alley at the same exact time anniversary of his killing, and then had a lady in the red dress, which of course is really an orange dress, but I digress. There, and they're right there in the alleyway, which was always fun. Richard Crowe was put on a show. Okay, this is me in the basement of the Roth house. And this is me. Well, actually, that's bed. Showing my equipment spread out on the bed in the very haunted Andrew Jackson Hotel in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is that's from the Irish Legend. That's inside of the Irish Legend. They fight just about maybe 2 miles from Archerwood Cemetery on Archer Avenue. Also from inside of the Irish Legend. Also from the inside of the Irish Legend. This is from the Wax Museum in New Orleans, the old French Quarter Wax Museum that is former. It is non-existent. They have torn it down. I was there the, on a Friday night. The fact was the last day they were open for the public was that Friday, and I had an investigation there Friday night, and I was locked in the back in the museum alone. I had several people with me earlier. They left, and I was locked in the museum alone from 2 o'clock till 4:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock before anybody came down and turned on the lights. So you turn on the lights about 4:30, and I was still by myself, getting my equipment up till 5 o'clock in the morning. So I was there for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, alone in a haunted wax museum. There's another picture, and another picture from the wax museum. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all watching the show tonight. We're going to end with the Madonna Bachelor's Grove, taken by Judy Huff, while she was a member of the Ghost Research Society of Dale Kesson-Ericks. This picture of Amelia Patrick Humphrey. A little bit sharper picture version of it there. And if you look here, Speaking of Bachelor's Grove, I'm not sure what it is, but it was moving. So we don't know what we're looking at here, but it was moving in the video. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and say adieu. It's been an hour, and that's about all I want to do in the midnight special anyway. Hey, got another watcher. Hey, I appreciate you watching the video. Appreciate you staying with us. I will be back this Thursday. I will have a guest. Hopefully, I have a little bit stronger internet again. I'm hoping. They keep fixing it, and then it goes back down to no speed. Not sure what I'm going to have to do with my carrier unless they sit there and every day make adjustments to give me a little bit more internet. It's absolutely crazy about going up and down. It's like a roller coaster, except that occasionally it just cuts off. It starts fast, as right now. Then it slows down, then takes back up, then slows down, then cuts off, then comes back on slow. Then all of a sudden, boom, it kicks back up. It's insane, and this is not the internet I'm paying for. So uh, we're hopefully get this straightened out sooner than later. See, it blinked right there. All right. We shall see y'all later on. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'll be celebrating my birthday. Of course, it's Sunday morning now. In a few hours, I'll be celebrating my 67th birthday. I've been here 67 years. Should I even be in the paranormal in 67 years? I don't know. Don't care. Hey, I'm doing my thing. I'm having fun. Good night, everybody.
Must be observant to be good. That took about, how many, we must have taken about 3-4 dozen pictures here, right?